Greetings and welcome to In-Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. We are getting even closer to the Trade and Investment Convention, so we continue the conversation with Lead Coordinator Shanna-Marie Israel, as well as the Chief Entrepreneurial Development Officer at NEDCO, Carraballo. Thank you so much for your time, ladies. Ms. Israel, I want to start with you, please, asking what was the response of exhibitors this year when TTMA is saying we are launching the first physical TIC in 2 years?
Hi, Dike. Thanks for the question. Well, to be honest, the response for TIC 2022 has been tremendous thus far. Well, from the beginning. We launched in February, and by the ending of May, all booths were sold out. We had potential exhibitors from all around the world, regionally, internationally, as well as, the majority being locally, that were heavily interested in signing up and in locking in spaces, especially, as it was made clear by us to the public and to the business community that spaces were limited. We are aware from last year, that it was a bit of hesitancy because of the pandemic with persons, engaging in events such as trade shows and expos. But from the time 2022 hit, that hesitancy seems to have evaporated because persons were really, really excited to come on board. We're still, even though we're sold out, we're still receiving calls and emails daily about persons asking about booth availability. What I would advise at this point for persons who are still interested in exhibiting, we are advising you to still visit the event, sign up as a buyer and still visit the event, and as well keep posted, keep looking out for our updates on registration and sign up for TIC 2023, because we're planning on doing a soft launch at this year's event.
And you say that you make me even think that some potential exhibitors are almost preying on established people's heads, hoping that they have some dropouts. And we'll talk about reasons for that level of enthusiasm just now, thanks. But I want to bring Ms. Carraballo into the conversation and say congratulations, because NEDCO is celebrating 20 years this year. But what is NEDCO doing to mark this milestone with regard to TIC 2022?
Okay, great. So I think even with TIC, I believe as you'll also, just 20 years you'll have been doing this, right? But this year being NEDCO's 20 years in the business, where we've been promoting entrepreneurship development for our clients, what we want to do is we'll be celebrating it through having a National Entrepreneurship Week that will run from the 2nd of August until the 7th of August. And we'll also be having a National Entrepreneurship Awards. So we have gotten so many persons who have applied, sending their applications to be part of awards. We have 5 different categories, from female entrepreneurships into even in terms of greenhouse. And what we'll be doing is awarding these persons on the 7th of August. So look out for that. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity for us to recognize entrepreneurs, right? And especially coming out of the last 2 years with clients, with a lot of entrepreneurs who would have had a number of challenges from the pandemic. We want to be able to recognize those who would have applied some of the teachings we have been doing over the last 2 years. What we have done is promote a lot of advisory, counseling, training, identifying some of the weak areas, even creating new loan products to help them restructure, upgrade. And it's our opportunity now is to recognize those who would have made that pivot, would have made a change in 2022. We'll be doing that, and we are hoping that coming as the year goes by, we will be appreciating them, commemorating this particular event every year. So that'll be from August the 1st to the August the 7th, National Entrepreneurship Week, where every day there will be a number of activities that will address and identify and add value to the entrepreneurs in terms of business development. And we will have the award on closing off the ceremony week with the award on the 7th of August.
Right, and thank you so much for that. We want to get back into that aspect of the conversation in just a bit. But looking at the sectors that will be exhibiting at TIC 2022, what are some of those sectors? Who are some of those individuals or bodies, organizations that we will be expecting to see there, Ms. Israel?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I mean I'm sure it would be of some interest to Ms. Carraballo as well. TIC over the years has always had a multi-sector approach. We always have a high subscription of exhibitors, participants from different industries. This year registered, we have exhibitors from over 10 different countries and overall participants from over 28. And the business sectors that are represented, as I said, are diverse, ranging from automotive, we have agriculture, beauty products, business support organizations, electrical, engineering, textile, fashion, government services, human resource training and education, wholesale, retail, tourism, hospitality, information and technology, communication. It's really vast. It's going to be an exciting turnout. Persons are not going to be bored because, well, of course, persons are not going to be bored because you're not going to be seeing the same thing over and over again. And of course, we have, food and beverage, construction, packaging and printing, medical services. The range is really diverse. So it's going to be a great event with representatives from a plethora of sectors.
And people normally come, I can imagine, they come to show the best of themselves, what they have to offer, and to network, to make these sorts of connections. Do you see, or have you seen in the past, things at the Trade and Industry Convention where you're saying, I think in a short space of time, this person or this model is going to be a difference maker? And if you have, Ms. Israel, what are some of those things?
Every year, what I will say, there are standout exhibits, standout showcases, and this can come from any size of business. Surprisingly, the most outstanding may actually come from the smallest of booths. From food and beverage, small food and beverage manufacturers. They usually come all out to make sure that they stand out amongst the larger exhibitors. We have a lot of foreign persons, regional, that come in because they want to make a splash, and they basically come and show their best. Sometimes with the country representatives, if they're coming from Jamaica or Barbados, they stamp their name at the event with their exhibits and with their offerings and with their cultural showcases. As well as we're talking about cultural showcases, the Tobago House of Assembly, they come as well and also, basically make their mark in a really great way. Their contingent they're planning on making sure that they showcase the best of Tobago. So those are some examples of exhibitors and industries that basically bring out and show out at TIC every year.
And I want to continue that question looking at NEDCO, but we do that when we return from the break. Stay with us. We are talking about TIC 2022. We return with more after this. Welcome back. We're going in-depth on TIC 2022. We're doing so with Shanna-Marie Israel, TIC Lead Coordinator, as well as the Chief Entrepreneurial Development Officer at NEDCO, Karen Carraballo. And I'm very happy that an exhibitor or someone representing an exhibitor is here in this conversation, Ms. Carraballo. So in terms of having success stories coming out of TIC, has NEDCO had any of those? And why does NEDCO decide, okay, well, this is an event that we need to participate on an annual basis?
Right, so NEDCO normally, when we look at it, TIC is one of the long-standing, and they also, in terms of their mandate, matches with our mandate. Our mandate is to promote entrepreneurial development of our entrepreneurs, and our participation in TIC over the years has shown that it improves all the success stories on both parts. Not specifically just for NEDCO, the organization, but it fulfills our mandate in that when we normally have when we are at the booth, we invite some of our NEDCO clients to also be within the NEDCO booth. So it gives them that positive space to interact, to sell their goods, to do B2B marketing, to interact with the various exhibitors. And what we have seen, not only in terms of NEDCO, the organization, being able to create a better awareness to attract more clients who are persons who want to be entrepreneurs, but specific to our clients, that the networking allows them now to expand on their product line, to improve on their life cycles. One of the things we will address or identify our success story is in terms of how our clients are able to grow, how they move from one stage of the life cycle, how their business in terms of their revenue growth, they're able to have more locations, or if not just locations, but in terms of how many employees they would have been able to achieve. So certain things we will look at it and see, well, here what there's the business has grown. They are not only addressing their customers with locally, they have expanded in terms of their reach regionally. And so the TIC convention, it allows that space. It allows that space. Our mantra will always be to promote entrepreneurs, particularly to the sector that we serve, the micro and the small entrepreneurs. There are a lot of their own personal limitations in understanding some of the facets that they need to have within to grow, right? When we invite them into our space at TIC, they meet and they interact with a number of organizations, other businesses that can also share some of their own success stories, and they understand the importance of some of the applications we would have discussed with them in terms of this is what they need to do to achieve, right? So TIC over the years has been one of our let's say on our calendar of must-do events that we have been doing, and we have seen that a lot of our entrepreneurs, in terms of the conversation, the mindset, the diversity, where they think, or in terms of how they structure, how they model themselves, that the environment itself, I mean, that positive environment, and it places and it opens up their mind to think, here, what I can do this, I can grow at this party. These are the things I need to apply myself to. I can tender for various contracts. And because even in terms of what we do a lot of business advisory, NEDCO, we do a lot of training, and we will, from coming out from those sessions, putting them in this particular space allows them to now further understand, apply the information that we've given to them. We also, of course, provide financing. So where it is needed from other entrepreneurs who would have walked through, or even individuals who would have walked through at the point in time, those who come to the event and those who actually exhibit in the event, they get to know more about what we are doing, and it furthers our mandate to expand our region in meeting entrepreneurs. So therefore the TIC convention, it merges a lot of what we would have looked at to achieve our main objectives. And I will go back to even to the earlier question when you spoke about this being a very fundamental year for us, being 20 years, our National Entrepreneurship Week. We will be an opportunity now to even to capture the persons. I mean, more or less coming out of that, TIC will fall a little bit later from the week I would have identified, but at the same time, we will be promoting some of our entrepreneurs at that event, and we will speak to it. So
but in terms of that kind of promotion, one of the things I really appreciate you talking about is expanding the mindset of individuals who engage with you at NEDCO. And I think it's even more important that this date is circled on your calendar in a period that we're coming out of, where there's so many individuals who have changed what it is they're doing in terms of their career trajectory and pivoted. You use the term. And with that in mind, I also want to ask you, please, Ms. Israel, TIC 2022, by that same token of having people pivot, change, how important is it for the manufacturing sector?
The Trade and Investment Convention, or TIC 2022, is extremely important to the manufacturing sector, not just because we are the TTME, the Manufacturers Association, but it ties in succinctly with our mandate, our goal to double exports, manufacturing exports by the year 2025, as outlined in our manufacturing export strategy. TIC also helps assist in fostering economic growth and relationships throughout the region and with CARICOM countries. It is also very important to not just manufacturers, but businesses across the board, to service providers, consultants, investors, distributors, wholesalers, retailers, etc., because it continues to be one of those business networking trade shows that are specific to covering all aspects of business contact. We'll go in quickly to how TIC does that. The main part of that is through our exhibition, where manufacturers, service providers, consultants, etc., distributors could exhibit their products, services, businesses to their target audiences. They get to interact with them face to face, etc. Answer all questions. There's that. Then persons, of course, can attend as buyers or consumers, where they're coming to meet with these exhibitors. We also have the important aspect of our business-to-business meeting service, where we go the extra mile of setting up meetings, specific meetings with exhibitors and buyers that match within certain industries, to make sure that, it's not just about seeing persons on a trade show floor, but you're getting to have a sales pitch with persons and see if these business interactions, make sense and can go and they can form formidable partnerships. One of the last aspects as well is our business education program, where we encourage businesses, agencies, countries, etc., to put on webinars, seminars, or workshops on a plethora of business topics. So, of course, persons can register when those workshops and seminars and webinars are finalized. They can register and, of course, subscribe to them. Of course, we also have other business networking events throughout the time of the convention, like our opening ceremony and closing cocktail. So we basically cover all aspects, so persons can get the opportunity to, reach who they need to reach in all aspects.
And in terms of reaching who people need to reach, though, Ms. Israel, can you just, in the last minute we have, just remind us how persons can learn more about attending the Trade and Investment Convention 2022? Thank you.
Well, the easiest way is to log on to our website, ttma.com/TIC. You'll get all the information there. You'll get information on where to go to register for free to attend as a buyer or consumer. I also encourage persons to follow our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram. And of course, if they need to get onto us, directly, they can call the TTMA's number, which is 675-TTMA, or they can email us at ticsales@ttma.com or ticbuyers@ttma.com. And of course, we welcome those who are accustomed to coming every year and welcoming the new persons. And we can't wait to have you and host you at TIC 2022.
And remember, exhibitors, if you were late for 2022, there's a soft launch for 2023, so make use of that. Thank you, Madam Lead Coordinator Shanna-Marie Israel, as well as Karen Carraballo, Chief Entrepreneurial Development Officer at NEDCO. And for the conversation, I thought it was interesting to me. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.